Welcome to my bathroom. So, I listened to this podcast, and I used to edit for these guys. Charlie, I swear to God, if you knock my camera down... Dude, back up. Your big head's about to knock it over! Back up. Back up, boy! Don't come in. Charlie! Well, I hope that lines back up. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, Charlie, I listened to a podcast called Talking About Singing. I used to edit for these guys. And in their most recent video, their most recent as of recording this, I don't know when this is going to go up. In their most recent episode, they talked about what makes the difference between an internet troll and a reviewer. And they said, basically, if you just say, I didn't like this thing, slap it with a 2 out of 10, and move on, you're an internet troll. But if you give at least a one-page, double-spaced review of the thing, then you're a reviewer, or whatever. Give reasons, basically, for why you didn't like that thing. And I couldn't help but feel like that was low-key at me. Because on Twitter, I like to just review things that I see. I type up a quick explanation of what I thought, and I slap a number on that motherfucker. And I saw Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I gave it a 2 out of 10. But I didn't really give my reasoning. So I thought I'd do that here. So let's just hop into this review. And before we get started, just a little disclaimer. I didn't write any of this down. This is all completely off the top of my head. So, my biggest problem with Godzilla King of the Monsters was the writing. I'm a bit of an amateur film writer myself. I've done a few short films, and I've written most of the ones that I've worked on, or I've helped write. And I don't consider myself very good at it. But I know how it works. And this movie just felt all over the place with his writing. I don't blame the screenwriter for that. I feel like the movie that they initially wrote was better than what we got. I feel like there was a lot of producers meddling in the script, saying, oh, you can't do that, change it to this, or you're going too far with that, reel it in. You know, or you didn't go far enough with that, push it. You know, gotta get the general audiences on board, John. Write a better script, bitch. Which does happen a lot, and it's not always a bad thing. Heck, maybe the version of this movie we got was better than the version they initially wrote, but that's beside the point. It just felt like there were things in this movie that initially were important. But then was changed in rewrites and not really gotten rid of. Like the character played by Millie Bobby Brown. She's almost entirely useless the whole movie, except every time something significant happens with the kaijus through the mind control device, she's the one doing it. Or she's present in the scene. So I feel like initially it was something like she had a psychic connection with the kaiju for some reason. But then they changed that because it was too weird or something. This is just me guessing, but it really felt like she had no point to be in the movie other than to bring in people with the name of the actress and to kind of give more motivation to the main character, or the main character. But I feel like he had enough motivation with because his ex-wife was also kidnapped. That's the his whole thing in the film is he's trying to rescue his ex-wife and child, and of course then you realize the ex-wife is the bad guy. Couldn't have picked that up from the literally before she's on screen. Fuck, I hit my bath. What's that called? Faucet. And the main character had a lot of inconsistencies with his character as well. Throughout the whole movie, he's kind of the blank slate for the audience to get acquainted with the world in if they've never seen a Godzilla movie before. And that's not a bad thing. There are plenty of movies that do this and do it very well. This movie didn't. near the end of the movie, he's talking to the scientist guy. I don't remember that character's name or the actor's name. Very sorry. Here's a picture of him. You'll recognize him if you've seen this movie or the 2014 movie. He's having a conversation with this guy, and he mentions that he's known him personally since before Millie Bobby Brown was born. And I'm thinking that's weird because it seems like he's clueless as to what's going on with the kaiju, other than relating it to animals, you know, because he's a... What is he? Do they explain in the movie? This might just be me forgetting. But he works with animals. He studies them. And those aren't the only two characters that are inconsistent or pretty much pointless to the movie, but you get the point. Most of the characters in this movie have no point for being in the movie. The only character I'd say has a point for being in the movie is the best character in this and probably the first one, is that scientist guy that knows everything about Godzilla. And beyond the human parts of this movie, I didn't even really enjoy the Godzilla aspect. In the 2014 movie, everybody complained that there wasn't enough Godzilla. So that you can definitely feel a conscious effort to put more and more kaiju into the movie, and I feel like it has the opposite problem of there's too much and there isn't enough time to make it as consistently good as the 2014 Godzilla scene was. Because that was fucking badass. When he grabbed the Muto, ripped his mouth open, and fucking atomic breath down his throat. That shit was awesome. There's nothing that cool in this movie. The thing that probably comes closest to me, and it's not a cool thing, it's just a funny, memorable thing, where a fighter pilot ejects out of his plane only to land directly in Rodan's mouth, which I really did think that was funny. That was a nice moment in the movie. I laughed out loud in the theater. But I feel like it just lacked weight. Everything moved really fast, especially Godzilla. I mean, he was sprinting in this movie. And there's this one shot that's in all of the trailers. You've definitely seen this, where it's Godzilla and King Ghidorah, and they're running at each other, right? And then they clash and it cuts, and it's like, if you want to see what happens next, come see this fucking movie. And I'm like, I want to see what happens next. But then you go and you watch the movie, and that shot ends in the exact same spot. Just, and then it cuts away to the human characters for a very, very long time. We don't see Godzilla in that fight until the end of the movie. Literally, the last few minutes of the movie. And King Ghidorah as a character, when they first kind of introduce him, I was like, I'm interested. Not just because I've seen the Japanese films and I like him from those, but because they say he's not of Earth. He's not a normal kaiju. That's why he's the apex predator or whatever. But the idea of him being an alien, I was like, okay, I'm interested. And maybe that was in the Japanese movies and I forgot, but I was like, I'm interested. Where are they going with this? And they didn't go anywhere with it. They just said it, and that was it. That was it. I mean, of this, I believe the runtime was 2 hours and 11 minutes. Of the whole movie, there were probably 2 minutes of the entire runtime that I genuinely enjoyed. And that's not good for a movie like this. I mean, this is an action movie. I'm supposed to be entertained. I'm not supposed to be watching this and thinking, that was a weird cut. Why did that character teleport? Right? You know, I didn't mention this earlier, but the editing is all over the place. Sometimes it looks fine, and then sometimes it's like, how did that person go from way up on top of this underground sea laboratory to the fucking bottom of it in a cut? Huh? I feel like there was a lot of stuff that they cut, and like little things too, like certain dialogue scenes felt like there's a line missing here. This movie, to me, I know I'm kind of in the minority on this, which I thought was weird. I thought people wouldn't like this one as much as the 2014 one, because this one was bad. To me, my personal opinion. I don't know how else I can justify it than what I've said. Nothing was consistent. Nothing made sense. I was hardly entertained with the movie. And for all those reasons, and probably more that I forgot about, I gave this movie a 2 out of 10. And I hope that was enough justification, Peyton, for me not to be clarified as a troll, an internet troll. I hope that was enough for you to think, okay, he has reasons for why he gives these scores out to all these things. He thinks about it, at least, a little bit. I don't just spread hate. Yeah, so go check out Talking About Singing. They upload every week. I upload every, 7 months, maybe. I mean, you can check out some of my other videos. I think I have 3 up on this channel prior to this. 1 is scripted, and I actually kind of like it, even though the audio editing is very bad on that one. The audio is going to sound awful on this one because I'm in an echoey room and I'm using my camera microphone. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Thanks for watching this video to the end. Dislike it if you think I'm wrong. Like it if you think I'm right. Or you just enjoyed the video. Expect more reviews from me. Hopefully soon. That's all I gotta say, guys. Bye, I love you. Good night.
In the seas cooking with the rig.